Hi everyone, I'm Rincey and this is Rincey Reads. Today I'm going to be doing a review on The Secret History by Donna Tartt. I wasn't originally planning on doing a review of this, but enough of you guys said you wanted to hear my thoughts on it. Now, in case you guys don't know, this story follows Richard. He starts college in this New England university and he becomes really entranced by this group of Greek students. They are part of like this elite group who get selected by this teacher to study Greek, and only like certain people can be a part of it, and they have like a very tight-knit group. Richard becomes, entranced with them. He ends up joining the study group and ends up becoming part of the group, and then things go down. Obviously, Donna Tartt is a well-loved author, especially on BookTube. I went into this with semi-high expectations, thinking I would absolutely love it because so many people rave about it, and while I did really enjoy it, I didn't necessarily love it. This story starts off like the first page tells you that one of the characters is dead and the other characters all were somehow involved in this, and then it sort of jumps back in time, and then you start from like the beginning of the story and see how it all unfolds. And I don't know, I find that device kind of just infuriating because I feel like you're just waiting for events to happen, and while I understand that there's a point to build suspense theoretically, I felt like, especially in the beginning of the story, I was waiting around for a really long time waiting to see what was going to happen. I felt like it took a really long time to get to the exciting part. It took me at least 100 pages if not more for me to feel invested in these characters or the storyline. Sometimes I was even just thinking like, why do I even care that this kid is dead? But then there was a certain part where I felt like the story was finally starting to pick up speed and I was super into it, and then I was really intrigued by what it seemed to be setting up, and then the death happens and then you follow basically the consequences of that. And I have to admit, as many of you guys saw in my wrap-up, I did put the book down and then I came back to it like 2 months later, so I don't know if that colored my view at all, but when I picked it back up I was totally in the mood for it and I really felt invested, but then it felt like it slowed down again as I was waiting for the story to resolve. Now, I did keep reading partially because I wanted to know what was going to happen, and that's really what kept me going. Like, I honestly had no idea how this was going to end, and I just kept reading because I was like, what is going to happen here? Because there's so many possibilities and everything just seems so unexpected. The writing of this book is probably more dense than most modern literature would be. I felt like I had an easier time reading this book after I had been reading War and Peace for a while, because that is like now my new standard of difficult books, and so reading this while I was reading War and Peace actually made this book seem like a pretty easy read. So I feel like that should let you know that this is not a book that can be like consumed in a week. I mean, it can be, but I feel like the way the story is written, like, you need to take your time with it, and for me I would just take it in small doses every day. And again, that's probably has something else to do with how I felt about the pacing of the story. The fact that while I was intrigued by it, I wasn't necessarily devouring it the way I do maybe other thrillers. So yeah, in the end I gave this book a 4 out of 5 stars because, again, the story in general was really well done. The writing is beautiful. There's a reason why everyone loves Donna Tartt, but I did have a lot of problems with it, and I wouldn't necessarily recommend this book for everyone. I feel like I understand why everyone loves it because there's a lot to love in here, but I feel like there's also a lot of things that could really get on people's nerves. So if you are one of those people who's having a hard time with the story and you've just started, I would say keep pushing through because it does pick up. But if you get to like part 2 and you don't care, then you're probably not going to care, period. But if you do have any interest in this book whatsoever, I think it was completely worth it, and I feel like the story was super interesting and I really enjoyed those aspects of it. So yeah, those are my quick thoughts on The Secret History by Donna Tartt. If you read this book, feel free to leave your comments down below letting me know what you guys thought of it. So yeah, that's all I have for now, and thanks for watching.